Today's episode is going to be about gratitude and vulnerability. It's really just another audio journal of mine that I feel I needed to express and get out there. So if that's your sort of thing and you want to listen to it, feel free. And I wanted to kind of mention that I started up some social media. I have a TikTok, Instagram, a Reddit, and that's it for right now. More to come on that. For sure. I have a lot of plans for this podcast, and it's going to be something that I really put a lot of effort and focus into coming here soon. But for right now, I'm really just trying to figure out where I what I need to do exactly in positioning myself for future episodes and what I want to do with this. So that's all coming down the pipe for Existence. You can find all of those at Existence Pod. And again, my email is at evanisinexistentialcrisis@gmail.com if anything needs to be emailed to me. That being said, this is an audio journal, but my next one's going to be an interview. So stay tuned for that. And I want to there's going to be a lot more interviews. That's really what I want to do with this podcast. I want to interview people. I mean, talking to myself and expressing my own thoughts are beneficial, but not necessarily what I want as the core of this. So, but for this one, and then this is the time being, this is what it is today, this week. Every Friday, I'll be coming out with a new episode. So, keep tuned. Keep tuned to Existence, and we'll see where this one goes. That being said, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. This is going to be another audio journal of sorts, really exploring more and more into my own sense of what I feel I need to be thinking about and contemplating. And I would like to stick to a specific topic today, and that topic for me really is gratitude and vulnerability. Gratitude and vulnerability are two very important aspects of my life that I really do strive my best and to be mindful of every day. I think gratitude can be one of the real drivers of our own contentment and our own happiness that we find. Being able to recognize that in your life in which it's always never as bad as it may seem in the moment, you know? It's always this kind of repetitive thought cycle that there's always more to do, there's always more to see, there's always more to grasp and retain and strive for, which can all be good things, especially in the pursuit of achievement and goals. But I think gratitude really grounds us to what's here, and it really shows us that yes, there are these things that we want to go do, and there's these ideas we want to pursue, and these areas in our life that we find may need fixing or some sort of shaping in a way that isn't what it is right now. But being able to just stop and slow down and recognize that everything that you already want or everything that you could ever want is right here, because that's all there is, really. And you have to recognize that there are so many things in your life at this moment that you can appreciate and that you can hold on to in this sense of comfort and peace and tranquility with what is now, and not what you don't have or what you used to have or what you want to have, what you want to go for, what you want to strive for and see. Because at the end of the day, every moment that we ever live is just this moment right now. There's only ever the present moment. And if we're constantly caught up in this cycle of thinking about what could be, we never get to appreciate what there is. And for me, it's really such a influential way to view living, because it really allows you to calm down, to recognize, to appreciate. And I guess the other side of the coin here is vulnerability. And I think they're kind of, I don't know, like I started this talk in some sense thinking how they're related, but and they are related, I'm sure, but in some sense they're kind of two ways of thinking. And I think they relate in certain ways, but they don't relate in others. And I'll expand on what I mean by that. Vulnerability is kind of this gateway into gratitude for me, I think. I think being vulnerable is to really just allow yourself to be seen and to allow yourself this moment in time where you can take courage in what you're scared of, in what you don't want to do, what makes you feel uncomfortable for whatever reason, and recognize it and see it for what it is, yet continue moving forward anyways, because you know that whatever is on the other side of this scariness, this blockade in your mind, whatever's on the other side of that, it's going to be worth it. And it's going to be something better than what you're currently standing in. However small it may be. It's as small as just saying, I love you to someone you care about. Or as big as going on grand adventures to go search for who you are and to help other people. It's these everyday acts of vulnerability and courage that really make us who we are and shape the type of person that we are day to day interacting with the world and with other people. Just saying hi to somebody that you walk to or you walk by on the side of the road, or calling up a friend and telling them that you appreciate them and that you love them and that you're still thinking about them, even if it's been months or years. It's talking to your parents in a way that you don't really talk to them normally. And you share with them things that you don't normally think to share with them. These are all aspects of life in which we build upon each other and make up our personality. And when we start to do this enough times, I think it really builds and builds and builds into becoming somebody that recognizes the importance of these small decisions that we make every day, and takes us on this sort of path towards recognizing that it's all going to be okay, that however scary it looked, however daunting it might have felt, however much your inner soul told you not to do that certain thing, even though you knew it was the hard thing and the right thing to do, you did it. And you moved past those barriers. And you were able to overcome them. And you saw that on the other side of it wasn't bad at all, or not in the way you thought it would be. And because you did it, because you did the work and you tried and you did your best, you can recognize it and learn from it and experience what the other side had to offer. And I think all these concepts come down to really putting yourself forward in a way that people can recognize that you're being honest and whole and loving, because it's hard to do these things. Vulnerability wouldn't be vulnerability if it wasn't difficult. It wouldn't be what it is without going through the struggle of it. But if you put love first and you put yourself out there and you go and you act with honesty, with kindness, that's all you can do. And no matter the outcome, you have to be proud of that. You have to be proud of yourself for putting in the work to even try. And that's so much, and that's something I think it's something we have to be so proud of ourselves for even just attempting. And it builds on that, and it builds on us just attempting, because these small attempts of of gratitude, of vulnerability, of making ourselves bare in front of others, and really opening up, even when we feel as if we shouldn't be, or they won't take it the right way, or they might see it in a different way than you do, which are all possibilities, and that's what makes it vulnerability. That's what makes it this raw feeling of openness and honesty. It's really this sense that we can be who we are unapologetically, no matter what that may be, and be okay with it, and be okay with whatever the outcome is, because whatever the solution is to what you might be holding inside of you isn't to just keep it inside of you. It's not to hold it there and bury it and dig deeper and deeper into yourself, to throw it down and never let it see the light of day, which so many people can do, and myself included. I've done it, and I think until I recognized that wasn't the way to handle my issues, my problems, I was scared of vulnerability. I was scared of, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what it meant it wasn't a concept on my radar of concepts to contemplate. It was just me holding in so much that I didn't even know how to let go or escape. And yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know that whatever you might say to a trusted person in your life, or to somebody that you might not trust, or a situation where you don't know what might lie on the other end, like whatever that may be, it's exactly that not knowing which makes it worth it, because you don't know what might be on the other side. It might just be the greatest thing you could ever do. It might just be the best thing you could do for your life, or even just a situation in which you're dealing with at the current moment, and everywhere in between. But it's that not knowing, it's that barrier we put up in front of ourselves, this imaginary barrier of some sort of obstacle we have to cross, some sort of confrontation that we put there ourselves, that we make known to ourselves and ourselves only, really. We imagine it's there, and we pretend everyone else can see it, but nobody else can see it, because you're the only one who can feel it in that way. And it's with communication and care and delicacy that we're able to inch our way past it, Even if it's just you scooting over it, or crawling, or sneaking by it, whatever you can do to move forward, whatever you can do to find some sort of way past it, even if it doesn't entirely come from your own compulsion or your own motivation, even if it's with the help of a friend or a spouse or somebody you're with, whoever it might be, anybody, a random stranger on the street. Sometimes it's a simple conversation with somebody who genuinely wants to be there for you. Might just be the opportunity to open up and to be there for you, even when you feel as if nobody is there and nobody cares. I think a lot about vulnerability in a way that I wish it was more of a topic on the social agenda sometimes, because we talk about all these ways in which our culture, our society, our world is abhorrent and terrifying and hard, and about the problems that need to be addressed, the problems that need to be fixed, especially ones that are concerning mental health and depression and suicide and addiction and relationships. These are all huge topics that we look out into culture and media, and we see so much that needs to be addressed. And we put out ads that are geared towards the prevention of suicide and the awareness of mental health and the mental health crisis, and all of those are topics that need addressing. They need to be placed in some sort of way in the world, and for us to think about. But how do we do that? And I think about how do we tell somebody that these are important issues in our lives? And we see, I think often about seeing ads about people dealing with depression and telling people to reach out to a friend, But how do you do that? How do we reach out to a friend? How do we reach out to somebody and tell them we're struggling? How do we show people that there's something within you that needs addressing, that's not healthy, that you don't want there, or that you're struggling with? Perfectly normal things that everyone deals with. How do you do that? And I think it's through vulnerability. It's that sense of being able to recognize in yourself that you can reach out, that it is possible, and that there is a possibility of progress within yourself. And how do you be vulnerable? That's the next question. How do you be vulnerable? And that's a large question as well. And that's something that I have been dedicating a considerable amount of thought to as well. And it's not easy. It's not easy one to answer. And I think there are many parts to the question of how to be vulnerable that we can sort of recognize and apply within the makeup of our own daily life that kind of aid in that ability to grow vulnerability within yourself. And I think, one of them is just growing a large, or at least a quality network of trusted people in your life, people that you can go to, and that you can trust, even if it's one person. Just have one person that is there for you, ride or die, and whatever might be in your life that is difficult or confusing or full of torment or regret, that you can go to them and they won't judge you. And I think creating a culture of non-judgment is also huge in this pursuit of fostering vulnerable people and vulnerable humans moving forward, and vulnerable mindsets moving forward is this kind of the concept of non-judgment. That there doesn't have to be hard set lines within conversation or within openness or relationships. Like, there doesn't have to be these hard set ideals that we adhere to. I think people are so much more open than we give people credit for, or at least willing to be more open. And we need to figure out how to unlock that more and more in the relationships and within the people that we meet. Because I do see a lot of judgment, but I also see so much openness. And it's that, it's kind of a dichotomy between the two of recognizing in yourself that at the end of the day, we're all trying to figure it out together. And I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. Let's help each other out here without any need of hate, without any need of hurting the other person, or having any sort of intent or goal in a conversation, or a goal of proving the other person right or proving them wrong, or giving them advice, or anything that might hinder somebody from wanting to be open with somebody in the first place. Just ask questions, talk, trust the other person, because you would hope that they can trust you as well. And I strive to do that. I strive to be open and to take in any side of the topic without as much judgment as I possibly can. But I'm not perfect, and everyone has their biases, and everyone can only view a perspective from their own awareness, their own consciousness, and the experiences that you've had and the experiences that they have had. So we have to recognize that in ourselves as well. When we go about talking to people, and when we go about seeing people in this way and conversing with them and especially when people are struggling, and especially when people are trying to be vulnerable and trying to open up, because it's not easy. It's not easy for you to do it, and it's not easy for them to do it. And if you've ever been vulnerable in your life, which I hope you have, even if it was small, even if it is small, you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is, because it's not small to you. You know, it's all relative. It's all relative to everyone in their own situation and in their own mindset, in their own upbringing, in their own worldview. It's all relative. We have to recognize that and see that and talk to people in a way that allows them to be comfortable and put as much effort and care to cultivate themselves. Because every day is that sort of cultivation of yourself. Every day is that next step, that small yet big step forward. They add up. So we have to recognize that whatever anybody else is putting out there, that's their path. That's their way of growing. That's their way of moving forward for them. And you do it too, and I do it, and everybody in this world moves forward in their own way. They're trying to do their best. I think it's important. It's important to see that. I think there's a lot of ways in which I can, this how do you be vulnerable question is a big one. It's a big one. And I want to tackle it as much as I can. And I want to dive into that as well. But I don't have all the answers, and I apologize if this my talking seems a bit preachy. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not here to give advice. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I don't know. I don't know for myself. Every situation is unique, and everybody's position in the world is their own. I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and you don't know everything, but I think, the more I think about this podcast is me being willing to at least have the conversations about what brings good into the world, what brings well-being to our lives and our minds and our consciousnesses and our existence as a whole. Not just you, not just your family, not just your friends, but the people on the street you never see, and the homeless people you walk by every day without batting an eye. Or that person who's working behind the counter at the coffee shop you go to, or just somebody sitting around at a desk, behind some window. The people you never think about that are affected every day by other people. What can we do to have conversations like this with other people that bring about more peace, more reflection, more acceptance? within ourselves and within other people. And I want to bring that out, that is my goal. I want to explore other people's lives. I want to hear what they have to say and what they may or may not be dealing with, and how that relates to my own life and how that relates to other people's lives. Because I think we're all so much similar than we give ourselves credit for. I think we're all looking for the same things. At the end of the day, we want to be safe. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want to be content. We want to be surrounded by fulfilling relationships. And we want to be productive. We want to work and strive to do something, whatever that may be. And I think that's why humanity is so incredible, because it's not just one person that makes this work. It's not just one person that goes out and solves all of life's problems and comes up with new ideas and inventions and has the ingenuity to engineer a better life for everyone else. It's everybody working as a collective species to improve our well-being here, whatever that is. And, I think it's through conversation. I think it's through reflection. I think it's through introspection and orienting our attitudes towards life in a way that kind of breaks out from the monotony of day-to-day living, and it allows us to really grow, and we start shifting our attitudes that way. And I just want to hear it. I want to hear other people, and I want to talk to as many people as I can. And so that's where I'm headed with this. That's where I'm going to go move towards. That's what I want to do. That's where I feel that's constantly where I want to be. Is around other people, gaining more of an experience and insight to existence for the betterment of all of us. And I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. I hope everything is going well in your life. And if it's not, it's okay too, because not everything ever does go well in everyone's life. I struggle, and I'm struggling right now. Everyone's struggling with something. We're all in this together. But it's recognizing that we are in this together that brings so much comfort. So with that, take it easy, guys. I feel as if this one was a bit more slow and dialed down, but it's kind of what I needed to express right now. So have a good one. I'll see you in the next episode.